Welcome, my friends, my Craft Roulette friends, that is. This is episode 303, and our parameters today are for project we have interactive. And this little baby in the Bundle of Joy stamp set or die set from Spellbinders is going to swing somehow by the end of this video. Now, for spice cabinet colors, I have this sage green cardstock that's just an old spell or Stampin' Up cardstock from my stash, and we're going to do something about that. And there's a little story I've got for you on that one. Now, for the transportation, which is our element, we have a stork, and the stork is delivering the baby. So if that's not transportation, I don't know what is. And for last but not least, random is confetti. We're going to have these stars in the background as well as confetti in our shaker card. Now, this is a 7-pack of 5x7 stencils from LDRS Creative. And for my viewers, I have an exclusive coupon code Melanie15 anytime you're shopping at LDRS Creative. We're also using part of the Arches collection here. This is the scallop arches and also the regular arches. And we're going to make our shaker card with these. I thought this would be really fun to create a large shaker window for our shaker in the background of our scene. Now, let's choose some cardstock colors. Now, the sage green is because my father used to have a spice cabinet, and I still have it, and it is sage green. Now, every time my parents would move, they would repaint the cabinet to match my mom's kitchen. And in my new home coming up, I hope to do the same. So I'm hoping to have all my spices in my dad's spice cabinet that he made my mom and paint it to match my new kitchen. Now here are all of our dies out. Our background is ready to stencil. Our shaker window's ready to make. And now I'm going to do some die cutting so we can get started. Think we're ready. Okay, so now we're going to work on the background. The background, I'm going to use some Altenew inks here, and right now I'm just going to use this and do us a little light blue here on the background. This is with Arctic ink, and then we're going to just darken up the bottom of this scalloped arch and give it just a little depth here on the bottom with the darker color. I thought giving it a two-tone would be really nice for our background. Now, some of the bottom of the background is going to be covered, so we may not see a lot of this, but I thought if we see it, it will have that definition. And I also left a little white there in the center just as contrast. I like having different colors in my background. And then we're going to use some the stencil stars like I showed you, and we're going to use some metallic pigment ink here from Lisa Horton. This is the Silver Shine ink, and I thought we would just haphazardly ink these stars, not too heavy, but just sporadically around the whole background. And I'm not being too worried about this going on super thick because I really don't want it to be super heavy. I really just want it to be a light, starry background. So I'm just going to run this little Tim Holtz small mini blender tool over it. I like to use this for pigment ink since I don't use them super often. So I have a small little extra blender brush for my pigments. And so I'm just going to go over these and color in just here and there, but mostly, not going heavy everywhere. So you have a little sporadic there. So now we're going to go to the die cut and just a little touch on the Spice Rack colors. This is Silver Sage ink by Altenew. I thought that was cute to add the sage in there. And we're just going to lighten or darken the background piece here for the part that holds the baby. I'm not even sure what that is, a swaddling or whatever he's carrying the baby in. So we are going to have a naked baby arriving because, of course, he's a delivery fresh out of Storkland. And we are going to have him delivered by Mr. Stork. And we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. That's why I chose green, thinking I could use it either way. So we're going to assemble. I'm putting that up there so we can see our little die set to compare to. See the little clouds at the bottom? That's what we're going to add to our arches. So I'm doing the eyes here. We have this little black die that fills in the back of the eyes. And I didn't die cut a piece for behind the cheeks. So I just like a background piece so that I can inset the eyes and the cheeks. So that's what I'm doing here. Just trimming this little piece of white cardstock down. And I'll just glue it right here onto the back. Easy peasy. Then I'll turn over and we'll use our little tool and place those little pieces right into the front. Now, didn't dawn on me here. I made a little goofy mistake and I put glue in the eye holes. I don't have to inset the eyes. I just have to inset the cheeks. So I do wipe that glue out. Silly me. But I am going to put these little cheekies in here and place them right in. Super easy. When you have the pick tool, see there, I'm cleaning out the glue right there. But when you have the little pick tool, it is so easy to get the little tiny dies right where you need them. I also do the same thing when I am doing the eye of the stork. So here is our second little cheek. And there's our little face. Super cute. Then we'll just glue this right in here, but first we have to put his arm in place. So we're just gonna glue right behind the top of the shoulder. And this is right where I'm hurting these days. Yes, I have an MRI coming up in my future to find out what is going on with my shoulder. But yes, mine is the right shoulder, unfortunately, and I am right-handed. So we will put him right there in place, glued him all on. We're going to glue him the rest of the way here. And I'm going to add a little extra glue right behind the top of that because it seemed a little weak to me right there. So I will be adding a little extra there right around that circle piece. And that's the reason I didn't end up putting the circle piece on there. I just added extra there just to give it extra support. Extra, extra, extra. I guess I like that word today. So I felt really good about the way this looks right here. And I didn't end up using that little piece that went on top. So here I am assembling the little stork's hat. It's a 3-piece assembly. And then I did have the extra little dot there. And I'm going to insert it there to cover up the little yellow from the hat. I'm just removing a little glue that peeked out there. So then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of glue right there in that little circle. And look at that tiny little piece. If you don't have a picker tool, make sure you grab one. These save the day and make die cutting so much easier. I use them all the time. And it's funny because I grab my Spellbinders tool as well a lot. But then I have to grab my other one because I need the little wax tip. I love it when I have this one here because I can use both at the same time. And it's just very handy to be able to pick up that little tiny piece with the wax side, add the little bit of glue, pick the wax piece up with the wax, turn it over, use the pokey tool, put it in place, and there you have it. Add his little hat. And our storky is all done. Isn't he cute? Now let's go on to the shaker. We'll assemble the shaker here. I'm going to add just a little bit of a rim right down the center of this scallop edge that I've used here. Now I built this shaker window using the 2 largest scallops in the arched scallop set from LDRS Creative. Then I cut a piece of packaging here with the largest arched die from their regular set. That way I wouldn't have to deal with die cutting the arches out, and it would fit just inside the biggest arch, which is perfect for shaker cards. So I'm going to use some strip adhesive here, and we're going to put on 2 layers of this so we have extra shakeability room inside our window. Anytime I do 1 layer, it all sticks, and I don't like that. So I am taking precautions, and I want my shakers to really move and groove. So we're putting them in our window with double adhesive for the height. So I'm just clipping these here so that they will turn for me a little easier. It just makes it curve so much better. And then come down here to the bottom and we're finished with the first row. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to make you sit through it. We will just take these off here. I do stick them together, so I take the release tapes off and then I stick the second row on. And that I will morph right through so you do not have to watch it all. And it'll quickly be done in a blink of an eye, just like that. So now all of our adhesive is doubled all the way around, and I'm going to take my anti-static tool here from Simon Says and just add a little static there, right, or static powder there, anti-static powder right there, before removing the strips on the back of the adhesive. Now I do this so that I have it ready for the shaker bits and so that they will not stick inside my shaker card. And I find this is the best way to have the majority of them not stick. Now, of course, you're always going to have some stick, but this is the best way I have found. Now, here's my confetti. Confetti, confetti for our random parameter. And yes, I added even more from Trinity Stamps. Love that one. I will have everything linked down below for you so you know exactly what I'm using in all of these little pieces that I've put this together with today. So look for that supply list down below if you need any of these yummy goodness that I've put together here today. So just layered that up. Let's make sure that's sealed really, really well and shake a shake, shake, shake a shake, shake. So much fun. Perfect. All right, now let's do our final building. These little clouds I die cut out of some scrap white paper, and then I used the bottom of the inside die that I made the frame with and die cut the bottoms at the angles that I wanted the clouds to be. Now this first one I inset right down and glued it straight onto the plastic. And the second one I'm going to pop up so we have a little extra dimension because I love me some dimension on my cards. So I am doing that here just for some extra fun. And I could have also ink blended this a little bit with maybe a little blue, but I didn't think of that at the time. But you could do that blue if you wanted a, a sunny day. But, I'm thinking storks probably arrive at night, possibly. I don't know. So it is what it is, and I think it's just adorable the way I have it. Now I'm tucking that little Mr. Storky in right there along the edge so you don't even see where he starts. And he's going to deliver our baby. Now, I have to think about this. At first, I thought I would use a brad, but then I realized that little knot is a little too small. So I went with a wobbler. Yes. Now, I do not have many wobblers. I need to get me some. So I have to trim this big wobbler down. And that's okay. It still works. Use what you got. But while I have them, I'm going to use them. And then I will replace them with minis because I think this would be so much easier. But I did trim this on both sides. And one side is thicker. The other side is quite thinner. As you could see there, that other side was real easy to cut. So I'm going to put the thinner side amongst the baby and the back side. There, see how thick that is? I'm sorry to say, let me finish what I'm saying here. I'm going to put I believe I put the thick side up against the cardstock, and then the thin side, let me see if I'm telling you this right. I think that's what I did. I'm having to question myself. But I think I put the thick side on the baby and the thin side. Nope, nope, nope. I did it the other way. Thick side against the background and the thin side against the baby. And I'm using extra glue there just to make sure we have enough clearance or enough stickiness so we don't lose anything. And I trimmed a little extra off there because it was going to show in the front. And now we're going to glue it on our acetate here. And I used extra, extra glue just so we would have strength. And I'm just going to wiggle it a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. So parameters, our project is interactive with our wobbler. Our colors, Spice Cabinet, we've used sage green ink and our sage colored cabinet color of mine in our baby wrapping in our background. So we've also used our stork for transportation in all of our confetti. So I hope you've had an amazing time. All the links are down below. Thanks so much, my friends.